What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, I have no idea what this thing is, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at, and I just got confirmation, it is the Dragonzord from Bandai Solar Chogokin line. It's on loan to me from Black Phillip. Say what's up, Black Phillip.
What's up, people?
So, he's going to help guide me through this. I have no idea what this thing is. You know I don't think much of Power Rangers, but that doesn't stop me from giving a clear and objective review of this product, as I did the last one, if I do say so myself. So, this is how it comes out of box. These are the pieces it comes with. We're going to go through them one by one. So out of the box, you get these two pieces that make up his tail. They're both finished with a silver paint finish, and then they have this green and yellow paint app applied to these middle pieces, which do look good. They are all articulated on a ball peg that gets you a impressive, honestly, amount of articulation in regards to them, and then they can collapse a bit to kind of make it streamlined as well, and they all operate the same way. In order to connect them, you just simply use some elbow grease and get those connected. Do you remember those toys where whoop, 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 but they could like collapse and then expand? They were like those tubes. Do you remember those?
I do.
That's what this reminds me of.
I don't remember what they're called though. And
then this connects to the thing, which I'll show you here in a minute. You also get this, which is called his dragon staff. And it's detailed very nice. You have silver paint throughout. You have this metallic green and gold. Looks great. This has die-cast pieces down here on the silver, and it's this black glossy plastic. Now he can hold it when he's in the combined mode, and we will show that off, of course, and then you can connect the latter section of the tail onto the top of it utilizing that same ball peg. You also get two additional hands. These have a little bit more of a pose to them. The two that come stock are more flat so that they fit inside the compartment where they're stowed. So you have these two options to give them a more natural look. They're sculpted well enough, they're painted well enough. And then you get your main body piece, and in order to kind of get it ready, you just move these two pieces out to the side, flip the arms down, flip the hands up. As you can see, they're a little less natural because of the way they have to stow. And then you put those back into position. On the back side, you just make sure that this part is down, and that will connect to the tail. And now he's done. I'm gonna get him cleaned up, we'll take a look at him. And this thing is decoed beautifully. I'll say that straight away. The chrome on the toes and on the crest, the silver paint finish on most of the legs, the hands and the chest, the metallic greens, the metallic golds, all of that stuff comes through beautifully. It's decoed to the nines. The materials feel outstanding. The paint feels outstanding. It just looks the way it looks. We do have a little bit of a jaw movement here. Not the greatest in the world, but it's there. Nothing for the waist. So nothing there, no ab crunch, nothing really for the arm because it bangs up against the chest. You do get this elbow hinge, and then you get the ball peg movement of the hand. So you get up, down, left, right, in, out, all those sorts of things. Beautiful deco, there's no doubt about it. And then the hips themselves, ratcheted forward, nothing really outward. You can get them a fair bit forward though. And the knee, single hinge, beautiful joint to cover down on it, so no issues there. For the feet, you get a ball peg with a hinge, so you get a good ankle rocker and then a little bit of an ankle tilt up and then back as well, ever so slight. And then you get all the movement out of the tail. But even with all the movement out of the tail and the few points of articulation that this has, you can't really do a whole lot with this thing other than kind of bend him over, so to speak. Size comparison wise, there it is next to the Dino Megazord, and I feel like they match fairly well, if you know what I'm saying. But no, size wise they look good together. Alright, to start working out the combination of it all, open this back up, put the hand back inside the way you found it. You're going to do that on both sides. And then you remove the tail. And I will say, the pieces have a tendency to kind of come undone as you're manipulating it. So there's a good chance that the split will already happen. But just start opening up this split here, which will free up this middle section. Then you can close up the middle section, connect it, take your chest pieces, or your arm pieces rather, and bring them around and make a chest out of them, and they will snap together as well. bend the knees back a little. Bend the knees back a little bit and open up these flaps, which will allow you to bring the knee up and stow away, because the bottom of the feet now become the new knees. What do you do with these? You sit them early?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
And then on the back, you get these things here, and you bring them down. And I'll get my little spudger to help me get this one out. And those are the connection points. For the chest shield, maneuver this piece up forward, open up your chest shield, bring this out, and then flip up your handle here. Straighten out the leg, and then close that up. Now, this is the SDCC set, we believe, the exclusive set. We're doing this with these. It works the same way with the other ones, but we're doing this with these so that we can see a size comparison between the two. So just get your joints down in there. And we'll do the same for this side. Now to connect the arms, you have this piece here on the back of the head. Just keep that somewhere where you can put your fingers on it. You're gonna put this on, plug in the shoulders, and then bring this piece down and plug it into the back. And then lastly, just bring the jaw down all the way, which will bring down a secondary jaw and reveal Big Visor Face Man. Articulation wise, there's nothing for the head. The shoulders are ratcheted all the way around, but they're inconsistent.
Uh-oh.
Actually, we may have just killed the ratchet. So be careful. And then they ratchet out to the side on a much stronger ratchet, and this piece will open up here to allow for more movement. Bicep swivel. We have a single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees. Wrist swivel. Fingers are on a base pin knuckle, but they give you typewriter hand syndrome. And the thumb is on a ball peg. Same for the other side. As for the hips, once again, you don't get much out movement. You do get a little bit forward, actually a good bit, given all the junk he's got. I really don't like this flap. Is that how it is in the show?
No.
That's a bummer. They should have sorted that out.
Yeah.
And then nothing really backward. You do get a little bit of a thigh swivel. I think that should be more than enough to get you what you need. And then for the knee, it's pretty smooth. And the joint isn't ugly either. And then you could close that if you wanted a bit. But that works nicely. And I guess it's actually technically double jointed because there's a little bit of a hinge here as well. Mm-hmm. And then for the feet, you do have an ankle tilt down. A little bit of an ankle tilt up. Nah, not really anything. You have an additional toe tilt basically, which is the cat. And nothing really for a rocker, but you shouldn't really need a rocker because the hips don't expand. And then of course you can arm them up, and you can arm them up with either stand, but this one is a lot more kind of impressive. Just get it around those fingers, close it up, and then we'll put the tail on. And we only want to use the 3, right?
Yeah.
There, and now we'll take a look at them. So they'll look good together. That's the nice thing, but in order to have them together, are they ever together though?
Not like that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want that anyway, I guess. But I do like the more cohesive look of the colors on this one with the SDCC set. Does he ever look like this in a show?
Not with those colors. He has the...
So that's a strictly new thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got it specifically for that.
Well, I think it looks better that way.
So do I.
And then for those who don't have either and just considering it, it's about 11 1/4. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. All right, so you get him back to pretty much this point. All right, then have this fella looking like that with his ears back, like an anxious dog. And then make sure the shoulders are down as well. And then bring this whole unit down and around his head so that it sits down upon him. And then you want to bend on these 2 joints here so that the 2 sides of the hips come down. And that's it? Is that how he's supposed to look?
Yeah.
Wow.
The fingers and the bottom of the feet are lasers. I don't know if that helps.
That makes it worse. But are these his arms now?
No.
Okay.
His arms are still his arms.
So you kind of lose articulation. I guess you can kind of move this around, but it's I don't know. This doesn't work.
Not until I get Titanus.
What is that?
It's the Ultrazord that it rides in like a
Oh,
horse.
for sake. So I'm gonna clean this up and we'll do some final thoughts and kind of move on. I know some people are interested in this stuff. It's not really my forte, but I figure I could show you a little bit of it since Philip had it. All right, let's go. So the positives are the materials feel great. The paint is fantastic. There's die cast. It's clean. The sculpt is good. It looks like it should, for better or worse. All the joints and stuff move smoothly, so that's not really an issue. And it's obviously integrated into the other set in a number of ways, for better or worse. But it does have some options there, and yeah, but those are really the positives. Good plastic, good materials, good sculpt, good paint, well toleranced. Do you know the canon that this is drawing from? This specific look?
Yeah, it's when Tommy's evil sword breaks and he joins the Power Rangers, and then they become friends, and he helps them out like that.
Nice.
Yes.
Friendship is good.
Yes, it is.
And then they have these two things that hang off of them, but you don't know what those are for.
I don't know.
Okay. Negatives are the dinosaur is extremely limited in terms of articulation. Does the dinosaur ever roll with the other ones as animal modes?
Yeah, when it fights mostly with the Tyrannosaurus, and they're mostly like punching each other or tail whipping each other.
The Tyrannosaurus of the other set?
Yeah, I have the black one. I can, if you want to.
So they're enemies, but they combine.
At first, they're enemies. And the whole idea is Dragonzord can hijack the whole, the limbs, and then just beat the shit out of the other ones.
Oh, okay. So the dinosaur looks. There's some cool stuff about the dinosaur in the terms of the way it presents, but it doesn't really function well as an action figure. The positives still apply in the sense of the materials and the sculpt and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
I mainly got it as an excuse to get a D-Tolf. Shout out to Robert D.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, and the combine mode didn't look bad. The combine mode for the robot looked decent.
Battle mode, it calls it, I think.
Battle mode, indeed. the knees were a little much, but that might be accurate. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of it. It looks like the way it should. I think that it matches up well. Like, it all seems like a very cohesive set, but I have to admit, I much prefer in the all black and green colors than the Skittle version here. But yeah, I mean, look, if you love this canon and this visually speaks to you, I can recommend it, but it doesn't do a whole lot more pose-wise than what we have showed here. It's a little limited in that regard. It's a set it and forget it kind of piece, so I think it's going to come down to how much you love it. If you love it, it doesn't do much, but it's well made. It's kind of how I feel about it. Thank you, Philip.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.